There is nothing which is wrong with the country that a new government cannot fix. It is time for a new start, a fresh beginning, new direction, people-centered leadership. That's why Team Unity Dominica introduces the Clean Slate, a new political direction for the current political era. The Clean Slate, an idea built on new and progressive energies based on what is best for Dominica and Dominicans. The Clean Slate, the platform for a new and progressive political coalition. The Clean Slate, uniting the partisan colors with a message of renewal and hope.
Hi, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to our viewers. Brother Alex, good evening to you. How have you been? I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think I was muted. Yes, I was saying I'm great. Everything is good. No complaint whatsoever. It's nice to be here with you. And I was asking you, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Well, here we are. We are together again to spend a few precious moments together to share some political views, ideas, opinions, to touch base for people on social media. We do so via other means, but the social media is always a good way to do something as well. So we are here to do whatever it is, whatever agenda it is that you want us to advance.
Yes, so tonight, folks, we are here tonight just to encourage Dominican public, voting public, to get reconfirmed or to register if you're a new voter who have just turned 18 years old, or you have not registered and you are above 18, to please do so. I think the dates until reconfirmation is August 31st, 2026. And so it is very wise that our general public reconfirm. Mr. Bruno will let you know the advantages of being a registered voter in the terms of policy making and changes that can occur.
All right. So there have been a number of activities taking place in Dominican politics over the past 20 years, more than that. And I would advise us to keep our eyes on the prize by moving forward. You can remember what has happened, but what has happened has already happened. Talks, fight, ideas, when it comes to electoral reform, what happened, what did not happen. The fact is, we are where we are today. We must remember the past, but we can't go back in the past. So we may have our illusions about how the government or the party in power did the reform. I have my own illusions. We may believe that it should have been done differently. I believe so. But the fact is, we are now putting together a list of electors to elect the next Dominican government. So we should not be blinded by our illusions or the activities of the past. Because if we remain blinded by that, we will not be in a position to elect and or to change this present government. So there is a date by which, based on the last electoral reform process and the new law, a law is a law is a law is a law. We have a new law that says voters must be reconfirmed in order for them to vote. So me, if there's election today in Dominica, I cannot vote because I have not yet reconfirmed. So if there is a new law, you have to obey the law and respect the law of the land. And the law says if you are 18 and above, you should register, or you are required to, or you can. Nobody is forcing you to do it. but I'm kindly suggesting that you do register. If you have been registered before, you should reconfirm. And that is what we are trying to push to. And the benefit of doing that is when you reconfirm to be a voter and elector, you have the power to put a government in power. Now you may say, I've given up and there's very little to do, and my vote doesn't mean much. And the fact is, you are wrong. Giving up, we never do. Your vote not meaning a lot, that is not true. Because it's one vote that adds with another vote and another vote and another vote that makes the majority. So holding your vote back as a protest is not the wisest protest when you have the ability to do it. So my humble suggestion to us is that yes, we are disillusioned, we feel aggrieved by certain things that have been done, but we have a chance to fix it. And we have until August 31 to go and reconfirm. And we have any and every day after that or before that to register to be a voter. Because even if you are 18 and you didn't register, you cannot vote. And do not wait until elections are called and then you cannot cast a vote. And then you get the same government again, or you get a government that you didn't really want. And then you're saying, well, I give up, Dominica, finish. Dominic Pocofini, Dominica is far from finishing. We just have to be wise. We have to really grab the mantle. And we have to go reconfirm or register and get ready to vote a party or government, a group of people in office to take care of our country. Because countries around the world are changing governments all the time. Why can't we change our government if we want to? But we have to be able to vote. And to be able to vote in Dominica next election, you have to be reconfirmed. So I'm asking you to think about it. That's what Petra and I are here tonight to do, to talk a little bit about it, to try to entice you to go ahead and register and or reconfirm, because that's the only way you're going to have the ability to exercise your franchise. Again, Petra, I do not know what else I can say. I mean, people might say, well, I'm not getting money for my vote, so I'm not going to do it. We can talk about that. If you want to ask me about it, I'll tell you why there's no money, no amount of money can afford to buy a vote. Because you may get a fridge or house or TV and you vote for that. But at the end of the day, is that what you're really worth? So a vote is priceless. And even if you get a little help from somebody, that's fine. But your vote should be a conscious thing. Because the person who's giving you some material thing for a vote, or drink, some money, a ticket, a VIP, something experience, that is what you're going to get. You're not going to get anything other than that. You may not even get the best representation. So my idea to you is not to take things for vote. If you are getting help, you're getting help. But your vote should not be attached to material help. Your vote should be attached to what you think is necessary for Dominica, where you want to see Dominica go, and you want to stop relying on people for things. You want to stop relying on politicians to pay your bills, to give you food. I want to be able to work. And if you see a group of people who are willing to do that for you, even if some give it to you to vote for them, you may very well take it if you want to, but the rest of your life should not be spent on voting for people for things. So I think I've said enough. I don't know what other questions Petra has, but I think I've said enough to explain why reconfirmation is necessary and wise, and why you should all do it. I believe there were some issues with the identification needed for reconfirmation. And if I'm not mistaken, I heard the Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica suggest that certain kind of ID should be able to assist. I think back in the day, people were saying passports and whatever the case might be. No, not everybody has a passport. And I'm hoping that they made it possible whereby national IDs or any kind of ID that shows the person's picture will be accepted as a means of reconfirming people. So guys, go out there, get reconfirmed, wait until the date of elections are called, and then you'll be told what is the best thing to do for you and for your country moving forward. So Petra, I think that's what I can say for now, only if you have a follow-up question.
Well, not a follow-up question, but you made a point that I just want to, add something to it. So your vote is very, very important. First of all, your vote decides what direction the country move forward into. So, for example, if you're not satisfied with the present government or the policies of the present governments, because I don't speak about people, I speak about their policies. I love everybody that's in the government. I love them as people. I feel to myself that their policies does not work for me. It does not give the people what they need. And so if you're not getting what you need, then change is required. And the only way to get change is voting for what change that you want. So first you have to know what are the policies of the people, what are they going to put in place to ensure that your goals are met as on a personal level. So it's not for somebody that you're voting for yourself and your family goals. Who can best meet your goals? Because it will not be perfect. Everybody, any government that go in, they will have people who are for certain things and they will have people who are against. And that is normal, because even at your home, you have children, if you have children, or if you have a husband, if you have a wife, there is certain food that one person love, but the other person don't eat. That does not mean there is no love in the house. That's just your preference. And so with everything else. So it's very important for us to understand why policies are important in the development of our countries, the right policies, and who can be there to do that policy. Because like I always say, I can bring an idea tonight and somebody else hear my idea and they can run with it, maybe because they have more money, they have a larger following, and they'll say, oh, that Petra have a nice idea, let me go with it. But they might never succeed with that idea because they do not know all the metrics to make that idea what it is. Because just having the idea is just that. But the person who put the idea together and put the plans together is like drawing a house. If I just show you a picture, you assume where things are. But I will have the master plan. I will know where the electricals go. I will know where the plumbing goes. I will know everything because I was the one who created it. And so it's with the policies. I believe that we as a party, we do have some good policies. And we just want change for Dominica. But again, like I say, the people have to want the change because it's the people who are going to vote. If nobody turns out to the poll, then they won't have an election. And if some people goes to the poll who are regular, or the people for the present government alone goes to the poll, because everybody say, me, I'm not in that. That is their business. They can do what they want. Then the government will remain in power. But if you want change, then you have to reconfirm, you have to register, because that's the only way change can happen. So I just calling on the public, do not take your votes, do not take your rights to vote for granted. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have for change, to create change. Yeah. Being on radio, talk shows, making noise on Facebook, calling people names, that does not change anything. What changes things is your vote. So go out, do what you must. I'm not telling you that whoever you choose is not, because it's your preference. If you feel you are getting where you are in life with the present government, I applaud you. Keep on doing what you're doing. But for those who feel to themselves that better can be done or more can be done, you have an opportunity to do just that. So that's what I'm going to just say on it. Mr. Bruno, let me just ask you to explain what is politics. I think people have lost the meaning of politics in all the excitement that have been happening on the last 20-something years. They have lost the true meaning of what politics entails. So just explain to us. I know that's your field. So explain to us what is politics and how policies great policies will make great politicians.
Okay, well, politics come from the Greek word polis, which means the people. And it's really interaction among individuals. That's what politics is. Day-to-day interactions, the things that cause people to do the things that they are required to do, how, as far as elections are concerned and governance, how people gain influence over individuals. Um, and influence, of course, leads to power. So politics is one thing, power is another. Politics is very simple: what we do, how we do, when we do, who gets what, when, where, how, our interaction with each other. So everyone is a political person. We are always doing politics every day. Politics never ends. Now, that does not mean we are campaigning every day, although our campaign is always on. Because a politician will always make a statement that make them look good. That is a campaign. Elections are not held every day, so we don't have election campaign every day, but we have election campaign every day because the politicians want to remain current so that when elections come, you vote. So I'm going to go back to politics. Politics is a concept that means people's interaction with people. That's it. So when we go to church, when we go out to work, when we greet people on the street, when we go visit friends at the hospital, all of that is political interaction. When we try to influence individuals to support our party, that is a bit more because we're seeking influence. We are seeking to gain your trust and confidence, to put someone who represents my party in office, give them the power. So through politics, as a medium, we get power and authority to run the affairs of a country. So that is electoral politics, partisan politics, governmental politics. We have politics in church, school, home, everywhere. But the one that leads towards power, that's what I think we are into. We're trying to get into office to create policies. And policies come from our ideas about politics. A policy is an idea to to solve a problem that is affecting society. So politics, policies, government, power, authority, all of these concepts are connected, but they are different concepts. So you can play politics as much as you would like to get into government, but when you get into government, do you play politics in people's lives? No. You rule, you lead, you govern in a way that is mostly apolitical. Of course, you're going to do things to attract people to your party too. But you cannot be running a country based on your party, based on what you want, based on who supported you. And Petra, would you say that this is how things have been done in Dominica based on experiences? No, because it appears as if the people in office are looking after the people who put them in office and trying to get more people to support them as well, which is what politicians will do. And for those people who believe that politics is something that they should not be in and they don't belong to, well, I'm telling you, you are wrong because you're already in the politics. And
as soon as you have comprehension, you in the political thing. It's just that when we're young, we don't think it's politics. The interaction, or even when you're in your workspace, like you say, that's why when you go to work, you'll hear people say, "Oh, I'm not in work politics now," or you go to church and you say, "Oh, I'm not in church politics." Is because it's the interaction with each other or the culture that is there within the organization.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if you think governmental politics is bad, go into Calypso and see the kinds of politics, or go into a workplace. Like in my workplace and other workplace, the politics is tough and hard as anything else. So we used to be told that we should not get involved and politics is not a thing that we should do. But we were misled because we are involved from day one. From day one, even when we go to Rose and we take the bus and we have to pay the bus and the bus have to pay gas and the bus have to pay taxes, all of that is political. All of these are transactional things that we do it. So no one is immune. No one is saved. No one is preserved from politics, including those who say me and nothing like even they are more in it than you. So I'm hoping that people start to understand that we can't escape it. We just have to do it well and do it right. And don't forsake it, don't stay away from it, so that we do things to safeguard the future of our country. because we cannot let our country be run by one set of people for too long. It has been too long already, over 20 years, 20, almost a quarter century of one party. That is a problem. I am not against the party in power. I'm not against anybody in the party. I'm just for Dominica and Dominica's democracy. One group of people in office for so long is bad for our democracy. It is terrible for the politics of the country. Again, I'm not throwing shade on anyone. I'm just saying that change of direction is necessary. And didn't it happen just yesterday in one of those European countries where somebody was replaced, I think a far-right populist candidate, Orban, one of them, I think he was replaced. He was voted, well, they replaced him, they voted a new government. And he had been in for 16 years. You know, we saw it in Grenada, St. Vincent just recently, when Gonzalez was removed after how many years. So we can do it. There's nothing wrong in changing our government. And I think when we change the government in Dominica, those in office will be fine. The prime minister will be okay. He has had how many years of experience, prime minister? He will do what he has to do and get a position somewhere, get a job, and all the ministers will find something to do. They may not serve in government again if they didn't win their seats, but they will be okay. And the people who are in government now, who are not politicians, should not be touched. That's one of the things I will advocate for. People who are not in political positions should be okay, like the wives of the ministers who are working in government. They should be fine. The first cousins and people who have the skills working, don't touch those people. If a minister loses their seat, chances that they may not be in government again. They can get into private business and do things. There's no vendetta against anybody. If our prime minister loses, okay, let him go and do his farming vacas if he wants. Let him go and travel the world. We have no problem with that. We just believe, Sister Petra, that one party should not be in office for so long. And even if you say people voted you, but we know that there are things that are done for people to be able to vote you.
I do believe that. I do believe that when one party stays in office too long, it really changes the culture of the people. Because I am in my 40s, and for most of my adult life, is the present government that is in power. And a few years, like when I was 15, before 18, I had the opportunity to really start understanding why politics is important in every country. People may know, may not know, but my uncle, Allen Carbon, and I will always say that, he was really a great politician and honest too. And he gets a lot of backlash for being an honest person. And I will tell you one thing my uncle said to me in my teens that always haunt me. So his mom was staying on a little cliff and she did not have direct access to vehicle, but it was just a track. Like, you cut the mountain and you have that stepping thing to go to the yard. And the people were calling him foolish because he was in government for a long time and he did not take the excavator that was under his ministry to do a road, a mobile where vehicles can drive to Hayat. So I asked him about it. I was in high school and people were telling me, oh, my uncle's stupid and my uncle does not use his head. And so I asked him, I told him, I said, but uncle, why? And the equipments are there. You could have access to it. And he told me one thing, and that's stuck with me up to this day. He told me he will not take government equipment and open access for his mom just because this is mom. If it had other people staying at the back of where his mom was, then he would take this, he'd make it a project to put a road, accessible road for the community. But he cannot take the government equipment to do it just for his mom. It is not right for the taxpayer because the taxpayers are not going to benefit from that. And I was like that, at the age, I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
If I have that access and my mom, I'm going to do it. He said, no, because at the end of the day, it's not bringing any development to the community. He said that is my responsibility and your father's responsibility and your uncle's responsibility, the children, to come together, to put monies together to do that for the mom, not for the government to do. And at the time, I understand what he was saying, but now in this era, I really, really, really understand what he meant by that. Because there's a thin line when you say you have access to stuff that you could forget. You could forget your role as being a representative for the community and turn it to a personal thing. And forget that it's people that put you there to represent them and not just yourself. So my uncle said that to me, and I say to myself, if I have the opportunity to ever be in politics, like hold office in a political party or in a political position, that is what I will live by. Do not use the state resources for personal gain. Ensure that anything you do, it is used for the community and the country at large. So that was what my uncle said to me, and up to this day, that's what I live by. Because at the end of the day, we have to remember, yes, politics is about people interaction, but you have to be an honest person to really do what's right when it comes to people and the people that put you in place to take
That
care of
is
the needs.
that is true. So I know your uncle. I knew him well, very, very well, because I was a member of the YFM.
Hmm.
So I knew Alan Carbon well. Chubby, short, jovial, firm, fair, nice, genuine, decent. Many conversations, very astute, well spoken, honorable. I know the gentleman. I cried profusely when he met with his tragedy at sea. I never understood what happened to my friend, but things were said and he disappeared. We missed him. So I know the man you're talking about because, of course, I have a few years on you, Petra. So I was there
Yeah.
before, right? I know the man you're talking about, and he indeed was an honorable man. And the title of honor is not given to the person; it's given to the office. It's given to the
Office. Yeah.
practice. So I hear people calling people the honorable name and their name. No, no name or no individual is on the office. So whenever I speak about our prime minister, I speak about the honorable prime minister,
Prime Minister. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
not the honorable name.
No,
The
that's not what.
name does not carry honor. The office carries honor. And Mr. Carbon carried the honor of his office with him. And if you had to call him Honorable Allen Carbon, it might even work. But I would never call him that because he is not honor, is the office and the vocation. When once you are elected and you serve in office, that makes your vocation an honorable one. And you're supposed to operate as your uncle did. I cannot say that is the case in the politics of today because I'm hearing too many things being done for people. Personal favors, back walls by there for one person saving one property from a river. I mean, come on, it's just too much. So I'm happy, Sister Petra, that you got it from the best from your uncle. And that is what I know you bring into the politics. You are young, you're an enterprising person. And I believe you are, and people like you, what Dominica need right now, the new dispensation of politicians. Again, I'm not throwing shit on any politician who has been using money to take care of their family and friends personally in government. That's what you choose to do. But that's not how government is supposed to work. And we can fix government today by just putting a new, fresh set of people into government, and we can fix Dominica's government. Because the people who are practicing it for the past 20 something years, they're probably doing malpractice and whatever they're doing, fine. That's for them to deal with whenever they have to deal with that. But we can come and change the culture of our government. So I'm happy that you espouse that view and you have that value. And we're looking forward to changing things. Again, I believe that we can fix our country quicker than people may even believe. Some people might think that there's no hope and there's no even need to try. But I'm here to say tonight that there's a lot of need to try because nothing is wrong with Dominica. Something is wrong with some people in Dominica and how they manage the affairs of our country. But Dominica is great, 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 great. Our leadership might be, a bit iffy, but the country, the people, the culture, everything is nice. As long as we have the right stewards in charge of
That's
the country, we can fix it.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like I say, I speak to about everything in Dominica here. The people tell me, "Oh, why? So what you doing? What you doing? What you doing here? If you love Dominica so much," I say, "Listen, Dominica is a beautiful country. I think we were blessed with everything that the world have to offer, nature, and as we're on that nature, I come in to ask you a point on that Daybush situation in a while. Nature, fertile soil, sunlight, rain. We get that all year round. Well, now they say that the drought is kind of longer in Dominica because of the climate change and so forth and so on. But we still have the ability to have water in our farm because when we were growing up is blue drum that used to be all over the farm collecting water to ensure um that things happen. So I don't want to really stray for our topic this evening, but I just want to draw our attention to things that we can have if we choose to reconfirm and if we choose to register. The things that we can have again that was once there. Good governance. So with reconfirming, that's what we get. We get good governance. When you reconfirm, you have the ability to put good governance in place. When you register, you have the ability to put good governance in place because you cannot make change if you're not part of the system. You cannot have change if you're not part of the system.
No.
So I know we went all over the place just to say good things about Dominica, but we just want Dominicans to understand that if we as a people want to see the good things that we just spoke about happening once more, we have to put ourselves in a position that we can make it happen. And that comes from reconfirmation and registering for new voters. And I know the young people say in Dominica, when you speak to them, they say, me, I go in Guara or I go in SM, I'll pass back door because the country tight. And we are telling the people, we understand your plight. But if we as a people do not reconfirm or we do not register, we cannot create the change that all of us are asking for.
Yeah. Now, and I hear what you say about the young people. They tell me that too. And yes, I hear people say, well, if you love Dominica so much, why are you where you are? I heard that as well. And my answer to that is there's no way I could be able to help as much as I'm helping now if I had remained there. I might have been like you saying, I want to go back though. I am preparing to help us fix our country and take it to a different level. I'm not trying to abandon. Sometimes you have to step out of it for you to see it. So I never abandoned ship. Petra didn't abandon ship. You had to do what was necessary to do. And the kind of knowledge that I have now, the way I see life now is so much different. Can you imagine if I had never left DBS, never left Kalibishi, never left Rosu, never left the country and just sit down there doing medical culture, making people laugh? What would I have been able to do more than I am doing now? Nothing. So I am in a better position now to help. Petra, you are in a better position to help. And others who have moved out of the country for a while, we are in a better position to assist. You cannot have everybody in the same situation. And people talk about people at home and people overseas. Because we are one country. Look at where we are now talking on the internet, and Dominicans at home and everywhere are hearing us. The world is small. And Dominicans overseas and Dominicans in Dominica are the same Dominicans. We are in favor of all Dominicans to be able to vote, as long as it is done wise, right, and just and fair. As long as one group is not being brought in and another group cannot come in. And we talk about the absentee, how it should be done. If as long as you are part of the process and you're paying into the tax threshold and you have social security registration, and you keep on bringing revenue into the country every month, why not? But it has to be done for all. So we do not believe that they are two Dominica. We believe there's one Dominica and Dominicans over there, and here are the same. It so happened that I am not there in the country physically now. That does not make me less Dominican than somebody who is there. So that fight down against Dominicans at home and abroad must stop. And we must broaden our minds to see that we all have a role to play. And Petra, you are right about reconfirmation, starting the process of recovery, of rebuilding, of progress. Dominica's progress rests in the hands of the people who are going to reconfirm to vote and who are going to register to vote. That is the only power you have. And don't let those people who tell you that you can have a riot and a protest and a revolution to change the government. No, we don't believe in that. Of course, it has happened and it could happen again, but we are not pushing that. We are saying we can, in a very peaceful way, change our government, because this government in office now did not come through violence. They came through peaceful means. So we can get them out through peaceful means. We are not promoting violence as a means to change in government. If violence comes, it comes. It's not on our watch. And we will not stand by and see Dominicans fighting for our cause and not help Dominicans. But our message to Dominicans is that we can peacefully, very calmly, whistle, smile, go to the polls and vote for a different party and change our government. Just like that.
Exactly.
But you have to reconfirm and or register, especially the young people who tell Petra and others that you can go to Guada. When you go to Guada, what is the future? What next? In the next year, the next 5, 10, 15 years, what you're going to do, especially if you go back door, if you're not regularized, you might most likely be caught and be deported into a situation that might be worse for you when you come back. So why don't you go register? Put your name on the ballot, wait for elections to call, and put Petra in office. And say, Petra, I heard you talking and you look like you know something. Change the country for us. Because the group that's in office now, they are there for a quarter century. And they are stale. Even if they are saying good things and making it look as if they are the only one that can do it, they are not the only one. Other people can. And you may not be seeing Petra and I on the streets talking about vote for us and taking pictures and posing. But we are working behind the scenes. We are making connections. We are getting ready. And I can guarantee you that when the elections are called, you will see a clean slate of candidates telling you, here we are. Put us in office. Let's go take Dominica to the future. So guys, please, especially young people, go and register, reconfirm, and get ready to fix our country, because everything rests on you. Everything, literally.
I tell you, everything rests in the hands of the people. Because, like you said, Brother Alex, we can sit here all night and tell people reconfirm or register. And if they don't, those that are registered and those that are reconfirmed will be the ones that have the power to decide who they want, who will stay, and who will come in. So if you want change, please, people, go out, do what you have to do. Reconfirm and register. Now, Brother Alex, one of the concerns I heard also of the people, especially those the adults, the grown-ups, they were concerned that some of the projects, especially the airports, they say, like, if a new government come in, the airport will stop. And so I know that's not the TUD is not in that type of conversation about stopping the airport, because we have spoken time and time about that, and we have said that the international airport is needed and will continue should we be given the opportunity to move Dominica to the next level, because it's necessary. We want people to be able to travel quicker to arrive in Dominica than having to move from one country to the next, taking 2 or 3 different flights to come to Dominica. So we are not against any progressive projects that are going to make it better for Dominica. And I will just let Mr. Bruno just explain the position TUD takes on the current project that can make Dominica better for when it comes to tourism and so forth?
Oh yeah, there's no ambiguity in that. Government is involved in a number of projects that we are looking at, and we will certainly adopt and maintain and continue. Because government is not a party, the government is the authority. And when the party changes, the government continues. So you don't stop a project like an airport or geothermal exploration thing or a cable car. You don't do those things. Those are important projects, and people should not be shy about saying if something is good. And certainly the international airport will be completed with the plan that is there. If we can enhance and tweak, we will. But we will complete the airport in the interest of the people. We are not against, in any shape or form, the international airport. We applaud the effort of the government to try to do it. Now, they may be concerned about certain things. Again, we do not know all the nitty-gritty, but we will, when we get in there, because of the investment that has been made so far and the advancement of the work, there's no way you're going to turn your back from that. There's no politics in that. We are going to do it. So we are in 100% support of the airport. When we get there, we will evaluate to see what is there and make sure that we continue and complete the airport in the interest of Dominicans. Not just for passengers, but for goods.
Trade, especially trade.
Trade and services. We want to be able to send at least tons of food. Not at the same time, because a plane don't take ton all at once. But every day we can have 2 or 3 cargo planes landing at the international airport taking food out of Dominica. We will cut deals with agencies, international agencies. Because the last I checked, Walmart order a lot of food and products and services from other countries, far countries. We are just 3 hours away from Walmart in Florida. So if we can get 2 or 3 cargo loads, full loads of plane coming into Dominica every day, we can at least provide food for a state and we may be able to do more. Can you imagine 15, 20 cargo planes leaving Dominica a week with food? That's our intention. So it's okay. We have no issues with the international airport. Of course, we will do both as well. But there are certain foods like not lettuce, vegetables and fruits, which you need to get to the destination as soon as possible.
Yeah, so it could have a long shelf life.
Right, and you could move a lot of lettuce and cabbage and those sort of short-term crop. They're not very heavy.
And tomatoes.
They're not very heavy to carry. So we can move that. We can put the dashing and tanya on the boats, where we can move the perishable products on the plane. So that is our intention. Not just to move people, but even more to move cargo. Bring back DHL and all these agencies with the express flights. So we are for the airport. We understand the need for the airport. And we will continue the airport project when we win, if God blesses us with authority. So no one should have that illusion about that. Now, maybe other people and other parties, the way they talk, they suggest that they might, interfere with the project. We're not into that. We will review what is there. We're not going to investigate nothing. Money is there, we'll use the money. Money is not there, we'll find the money. If there are reasons for us for concern, we will ask questions. And whatever has to happen will happen. But our job is not to go and stop and research and investigate and vendetta. We're not into that. The project is there. It is a legitimate government project with a blueprint and financing to do the project. Or if there's no financing, we get the financing and we complete the Dominica International Airport. And that is what TUD is about. And not just the airport, but any other project, including housing and whatever the government is doing, that is legit, above board, based on standards, we will do the work. And that's what has to be the case. And we give the people our word on that.
Yeah. And don't forget, in the north, we have the marina for our yachts. The people of Portsmouth have been asking for a while that will be completed as well.
Yes. Yeah. Now, it cannot be, Sister Petra, that a government is in power for a quarter century and they have not done anything good. It is impossible to say that.
Yeah.
Could they have done more? If we had been in power for 25 years, oh my word, I don't think Dominica will be flourishing. We think Dominica streets will be paved of gold. I mean, just to be a bit
Yeah,
exaggerated. So I think the government could have done more or emphasize on certain areas more, maybe farming, agriculture, agro-processing, industry, commerce, entrepreneurship. They could have done a lot more.
yes,
But you cannot tell me that the government after 25 years didn't do anything good. So whatever good the government has done and is doing, we'll continue it. There's nothing wrong. We have no problem. No government minister is going to go to jail when we win. If they go to jail, it's on their own volition.
exactly.
So our job is to take it from where they brought it, which is somewhere, because Dominica is not the same as it was, and we're going to advance it with the help of those people who maybe have lost their seats, maybe put them in certain positions to help to develop the country. We're not in this business of restarting again and going back to vendetta, because it appears as if there's a vendetta politics taking place between Labour and whoever. Because, oh, you take us out, we take you out, then we take you out. And it's no, that tit for tat politics is finished with TUD. And we're just praying that the people with money.
We just come in for the people to ensure
Yeah.
that the people have a better life. That's
For
it.
the people, man. We're not into the tit for tat. And I think Dominicans will be better served by trusting us with the power, because we're not going to say, okay, 25 years ago we lose office, we didn't get that, we're going to do all we can right now. No, we're not in that. So the Dominican electorate will be better served to move away from that tit for tat politics. Just take on both and put a new group of people. There could be people from any of the other parties as well, but it should not be a thing where it's either them or them. Let us mix it up. So TUD is there to be part of the mix, and anybody who's willing to be part of the conversation that we're having to change the focus of the politics, let's make it happen, man. It could be blue, red, green, pink, yellow, orange, yellow. Let us come together with one accord to decide
For the
that's
good
the
of the
direction
people.
of our country.
Yeah. And also the abattoir too. I know it was built a while ago, but recently we have seen an upgrade done to it. So it's been updated. And that too, it's really good for Dominica, because when our last report is that don't we import more than we export. And so this abattoir could really help us. And if you have the right mindset at the back of it that can make it work, then Dominicans will be at a better place, because first of all, we export more chicken than we import. We'll go out and get markets for it. So we are in a good standing now. There are lots of good things that we can say that are happening in Dominica. We're not going to say that everything the present government is doing is bad. What we're saying is that it's time for a change. And we're asking the people, if you believe with us that it's time for a change, that you need to know what is necessary to ensure that this change happens.
Well, I think the people believe it's time for change. They have been saying so. I mean, I'm looking at data right now where change has been overdue. What is happening now? There's a level of despondency creeping in where people think change will never come because the same old continues. That's why we are here. We are not the same old. We are new. And we have ideas that are not built on vendetta or hate. We have ideas that's built on progress, unity of purpose, not castigating anybody or forsaking anybody, but for calling things as it is. And the only problem we have with this current government is that they are in for a quarter century. It is just too long for any democracy.
Yeah.
That, I mean, not only, but that's the biggest problem. So we have to change the government. We'll continue some of the things the government is doing, because the government is not labor. The government is the people who are elected to serve in authority over the people or for the people on behalf of the people. So there is no labor government. There is the government of Dominica.
Dominica, that's it.
And the majority party in the government of Dominica has to happen to be labor.
That is different.
But labor is not a government. The government of Dominica is our government, and whoever is in majority has to do what they can do for the people. So even if we take out labor as the majority, Dominica government continues.
That's right.
And I just hope that the Labour Party supporters understand that, because I mean, don't you? It get boring after a while. People get complacent. The people who have served for so long with the experience, let them go and work in the United Nations and everywhere else, and go and teach and become entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and then help the country in another way. You can't just be in power and lock down power. What happens is a baby duck and papa duck situation we have in Dominica. Eventually, that's what it will come to if people stay in power for too long.
So that is why we're calling on the farmers, We are calling on the farmers and the fishermen and the persons who want the change, those who are really being affected. Because we know they're, based on my limited data and based on the talk on the block, like they say back home, the people that are really affected are mainly those who are entrepreneurs, like the farmers, mostly those in the agricultural sector that are really affected, because they are complaining that the agricultural sector is dead. They are complaining that they are not getting access to fertilizers and all that stuff that they need to produce the demand of agricultural produce. So these are the people we're calling on. If you want to get that change, you need to do not say you're not part of politics, because change will not happen unless you make it happen. People have to make change happen. That's why when you go to the poll, you get the tally and it say that number of persons vote for that person and that number of persons vote for that person, and this person is declared the winner. It's based on the number of votes that person gets. So if you believe, and again, I'm not telling anybody, I'm not going to chastise anybody for who they choose. But if you like me and you believe it is time for a change, and you have not reconfirmed or you have not registered, then you cannot do anything about it. Just sitting down and speaking about it on the blog and saying, boy, this man have to go, it's not going to change. You have to do your part.
We have heard enough of that.
TUD is calling on you tonight. Tomorrow, wake up, go downtown, go and reconfirm. Tomorrow, you 18 years, you part of Dominica, you part of the politics. Go to town, go and register. Let your voice be heard. Buy your votes. That's the only way. Wars and violence. We just look at what is happening in the world. You really think we want Dominica to become as the Middle East now? We really think that's the way change, progressive, positive change, going to happen?
No. Peace.
We can change Dominica in a peaceful manner.
Dialogue.
Use your vote. Let your vote be your voice. Go out. When election call next time, ensure that you reconfirm today. Ensure that you register today. So when the election date is called, you know you have the power to do what you need to do.
And the people who have already reconfirmed, the people who have habitually and traditionally voted for the majority party, you have something to do as well. Think. Just meditate. You probably didn't have the message that we are giving now. You probably didn't have the confidence that we are offering you now. You probably did not have the conviction that we are resting upon you now. So think about it. Your mind might have been made up to give that vote to the incumbent still. But you don't really have to continue doing that, because we are offering you something that will take us from there to elsewhere. Your chances of doing well might be enhanced with a new group. Remember, we're not the group that are going to just give you and say you can come back to us tomorrow for. We will create the environment for you to have everything you need. And if you want just to help you, we'll help you too. But we don't just want to help you, say, look, launch you so you can come back. We want to give you. We want you to take care of yourself. And if you make a little mistake and you have a shortfall, you can come back to us and we'll say, okay, here's how we do it again. So those of you who have reconfirmed and you believe you want to vote for the incumbent still, think. Those of you who have not yet reconfirmed because your party has not told you to do it, your party is making a mistake. And I don't want to talk about your party's mistake. And you don't want to regret not being in a position to help Dominica. So forget that party that's not pushing you to reconfirm and go reconfirm and vote for a party that you believe can help advance Dominica. Because sometimes our party may lead us astray. And at the end of the day, you don't have to belong to a party and die with a party. Because it doesn't really make sense if you don't have to. Think, look, see what's available, and then you say, boy, it's true, boy, I was in that party, but boy, things are changing, and I think I'm going elsewhere. If you are alive and you cannot change your mind politically, ujamo. It makes no sense to say I'm born a Labourite, I'll die a Labourite. Or Labour, or Worker, or TUD. It makes no sense. If you cannot change your mind as a living, sane, thinking person, ujamo. So I do not know what else I can
it's
say.
One more question. I have one more thing. We're almost ready to go because we tell people we're here for 1 hour and we want to stay true to our time. Yeah. So there's only one more concern that I hear the general public is giving in terms of change of governance. And it is, they say, who else are we going to put there? Who else have experience to run the country? And I want you to just elaborate on that because the present Prime Minister of Dominica had no experience when he became Prime Minister of Dominica.
But you answered my question. You answered my question. Our Prime Minister was 31 when he became Prime Minister with zero policy making and administrative experience. The last I checked, he was a teacher. Nothing wrong in being a teacher, but he did not know how to govern. You, Petra, have a degree in finance. I forget about me. I'm not going to be a policymaker. I'm just going to be somebody helping to strategize. The other members from our team are qualified and experienced in their specific administrative field. To talk about Carlos. Carlos is an all-rounder. Very subtle and unassuming kind of character with prerequisite skills to help build policies and programs. So anybody now on our team starting today is starting with more experience than our current Prime Minister started with. So that is a non-argument. The other thing is that the people might be in government, but the advisors of the people in government is what really keeps the government going. So a lot of the things that our Prime Minister is doing now is not he that's doing it. Is the advisors and the handlers, the enablers and the PSCs and people who are saying, okay, sir, here's how we do that. And we will be exposed to the same infrastructure when we take over the government. So we are already starting with more experience, life experience, work experience, skills. We will have the same government apparatus to help us. We'll have the same friends in China. The government of China is not going to run away from us when we win. They're going to come and say, hey, Mr. Petra, now that you've won, I think we should go to China for a week and understand. And they will take you to China and they will teach you how the diplomacy works. Because the Chinese government is not a friend of the Labour Party. It's the friend of our government.
Yes.
And when our government changes, they will be the friend of our government too. So everything that our current Prime Minister has to help him, we will have it. So that is the answer to the question. When we take over, everything in the government comes to us. Nothing goes with the people living. They can go with their party name, but they can't go with the government. So guys, that is a non-issue. If not that person, who? Anybody else and everybody else, because any and everybody else will have what it takes to do what who is doing now. And I've heard that being said, and nobody ever asked me that question but you, Petra. And you ask it to me late because time is coming to an end. But I could speak about that for over an hour. If not this prime minister, who? Man, I can count, everybody. And I can give you why any and everybody can be. Well, not anybody, but why we have the assets in our party to be able to have 10 prime ministers, not just one. And maybe other parties have it too. But certainly, people should not lose faith that only one person can run our country. No, that's just a red herring. It's a fallacy statement, very far from being true. The sooner you replace the current prime minister, I think the sooner Dominica goes into a different direction. Again, I'm not against the man, the brother. He's not my friend, but I know him. I have all the respect for him. But I believe that there are other people who can do what he has done, and maybe in a different way, 10 times over.
So with that said, people, we have come to our mark. We're not going to keep you long, but let me just remind you, I'm not sure if Brother Alex have any last word, but let me just remind you that we have until August 31st, 2026 to reconfirm and to register so that we could take part apparently in the upcoming election. And so, people, do not break stick in your ears. My grandmother used to say, do not break stick in your ears. Listen and take action. Tomorrow, moving forward until August 31st, 2026. Please, I ask, if you want change, the farmers, the fishermen, the entrepreneurs, the people who are saying that nothing is being done, please go to Roseau and reconfirm. And if you are 18 years and your grandmother and your mother tell you how things had in Dominica and you want better for yourself because you believe somebody else can do better, please go and register. And let your votes count. Let you as an individual, a citizen of Dominica, take action, not just for yourself, but the future of people in Dominica. Mr. Bruno, any last words before we say goodbye to our viewers?
Well, words are never last, but I just wanted to leave the viewers with the word that our party, Team Unity Dominica, will be engaging in some public event in Dominica very soon. So just stay tuned, stay connected. You will be told, you will be invited to be involved in some way, shape, or form. And certainly you will hear about a few of the plans that we have to advance our country. It's happening very soon on the island of Dominica. That's all I can say for now. Stay on the lookout and be ready to rally with Team Unity Dominica, a team which is believed to advance the cause of progress and unity when it comes to the governance of our lovely country. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. Good night, followers. See you next week.
Cheers.
There is nothing which is wrong with the country that a new government cannot fix. It is time for a new start, a fresh beginning, new direction, people-centered leadership. That's why Team Unity Dominica introduces the Clean Slate, a new political direction for the current political era. The Clean Slate, an idea built on new and progressive energies based on what is best for Dominica and Dominicans. The Clean Slate, the platform for a new and progressive political coalition. The Clean Slate, uniting the partisan colors with a message of renewal and hope.